Alright, here we go. Finally, right? Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you guys are having a good Monday evening. It's kind of like a Sunday evening for those of you who had the day off for President's Day. It's kind of like our Sunday evening, but here we go. We got another one of these, but this is really kind of an interesting one tonight. Kind of a special paint stream because I'm painting something really cool. All right. This is a friend of the show, Andrew. He's working on his game. It's called Fortune's Fodder, and it's still in development, but he has asked me to paint some of the miniatures, some of the first miniatures he's printed. So I figured, hey, let's go ahead and just finish up painting these, and then you guys can kind of see kind of what we're looking at here. So this guy here is Bear with Axes. As you can see, a little rough cut. I mean, still needs a little bit of a smooth job here on the steel is looking a little jagged, but we also have to work on the fur as well, right? So he's looking a little jagged, but he's not doing too bad. And then we got the new and improved tower, and he's kind of a cool looking. Right, they almost look like they kind of look like mechs in a way, and that's kind of the idea. But they're also like animals too. So we're just gonna. So these are the two that we're working on, and there were actually 6 sculpts that were part of this this set here. So we're just gonna work on those, and you know, feel free to ask me any questions if you have any on these, because they're super cool. That's pretty much all I can tell you, is that they're super cool. The game is super fun. It uses it uses mechanics that feel like some of your favorite miniature games, and I don't really want to give away too much on that front, because that's really Andrew's kind of job, is to summarize and explain that side of it. But just, you know, suffice it to say, the game is very fun. Anyway, let's so with these sculpts, these are prototype sculpts, okay, and they've been 3D printed, so they're still just ever so slightly a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of ruggedness to them, but I'm gonna highlight this. So, for example, this bear doesn't really have like the fur, the texture of the fur very well defined. At least not defined compared to, like, you know, some of the exaggerated models that we typically see. And so I don't really have much texture to kind of highlight off of, but instead what I'm going to do is use almost like a stippling technique to kind of give you some idea of texture. Right? I know it's things are still wet right now on him, but right, this should give you some indication of what we're dealing with here, and also allows me to kind of close up the jawline a little bit. Yeah, this bear thing is cool. The game has stuff like, so some of the mechs and that kind of thing, some of them are like animals, so like hordes, think like hordes, and some of them are more like traditional mechs, and the game uses like you select pilots and you select mechs, like what mechs they will pilot, right? So we're just building. We're gonna build a little fur down on some of these areas here, right? Right? Hey, what's up, Jose? This mini is from Andrew's game, the game that Andrew is designing. So this is actually a um, this is one of the rewards he got from donating to Extra Life. Is he got a commission, and he decided to use his commission on painting this cool thing. All right. So you get a little bit of texture here and there, but it's not overbearing like, you know, a lot of sculpts where you just dry brush the whole thing, right? And what's kind of cool about that is, you know, it's gonna let me kind of play with a few different colors rather than normally you would just like base coat, dry brush, and highlight, right? That's basically what you would do with something like this when you're thinking, okay, I have to paint a bear. That's normally what you're thinking. Yeah, I have 6 I can show you tonight, and most of them are done or in the, as far as the paint jobs, are in the final processes of getting completed. So we'll get a good look at them. All right, this bear guy is looking pretty cool. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm probably gonna have to armor wash this guy to get that armor to calm down a little bit. It's a little on the hairy side. And then similarly here with Tower. Tower looks cool though, right? He's supposed to be like a tower that has sort of the sort of animated like a mech tower essentially. All right, so actually before I move on to the next part, I like all of these to have a little bit of glow to them, even if they're supposed to be, you know, kind of almost medieval feeling the way this one is. I still like that little touch of, okay, things being powered by something. That's all. That's the only impression I'm trying to give you. Is that it's being powered by something, right? You can see the eyes there, right? And I guess I should have made this part like red back here too, but it's just as good, right? All right. So now, let me work on. I need like a sand yellow I need to highlight the non-metallic gold element here. And I need a very specific color to do this. I mean, I could use this. A little off. That's not quite what I want. Here we go. I want this ice yellow. This is a nice highlight for non-metallic gold. Yeah, this is kind of the tail end of this particular um, commission here. So it was kind of cool. I was looking for the right time to kind of highlight these. Whoa, it's a little thick there. Yeah, be careful with that line, but I can make it work, right? And that line there is just a little thick. It's okay. We'll make sure it looks okay. There we go. You working on anything right now? Yeah, I figured. So, like, when I first saw this robot, I was thinking, well, let me back up a second. The first iteration of this robot was like a big, broad, like a Bobo bot that literally looked like a tower that had just, like, grown little catapult arms and legs, right? It was a big, thick torso, basically, of a robot, like a Bobo bot, right? And I loved it, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." That's the, and that's Tower, right? And it gave me that idea, like this is just a thick, immobile tower. Um, but but Andrew kind of had a different vision, so he went back, and this is what he came back with. And I saw this, and I'm thinking, this is almost like, to me, like, look at these lines here and here. Like, imagine those, right? Imagine this being blue here, white underneath, the white undercarriage, and red here, right? What are you saying? You seeing a Gundam? Yes, that's what I am seeing a Gundam, right? A Gundam with medieval weapons is kind of what I'm seeing here. Oh man, looks like I got a little creep on this wash. See if I can remove some of that. That's on there pretty thick. That's one thing about these sculpts is sometimes they're just printed funny, and so you get weird shapes stuck on the outside, or you get weird gaps. And when you use a wash, it may not end up where you want. But yeah, played a little more BMG today. That was fun. Got to play a little more Cobra Cult. I'm starting to really understand what I can and can't do with Cobra Cult. And one thing is, when you play Cobra Cult against like a seasoned opponent like Chris, he's gonna kill all your stuff. Chris killed like three of my 7 models in the first turn. Like, some of them didn't get to activate at all. He just rolled up and killed them, and so that was tough. And so I actually only got the ritual set off once, uh, which kind of blew. But it's interesting. It made me kind of reach into what else can I score out of my deck. And it wasn't too bad, right? It was, again, Catwoman having to pick up the slack, as she always does. So she picked up the slack and ended up playing, I think the final score was like 35 to 30, right, in favor of the Cobra Cult. But yeah, very close game. Was playing against Organized Crime. Lex Luthor led Organized Crime. and they just basically shot the crap out of the Cobra guys, like right out of the gate. Just started shooting them. But it didn't matter, right? He was shooting all my guys, but I'm playing the regular Octave game of, okay, well, let's just score before we all die, right? Let's score it all. Let's score everything we can before we die. But no, he was running Lex Luthor led organized crime, which is kind of cool. So you just want this highlight, kind of like gold framework like this. You're just gonna use it on certain parts, right? You don't want it to take up the entire frame here. He had he had one of the Lex troops, and then the rest of it was kind of your regular like crime family stuff. He had a cop in there. He had a kind of an interesting mix of stuff. He had Zaz, so he's running Victory Zaz as well. It's pretty cool. Pretty. It's pretty. It's Hey, what's up, Nelson? It's pretty cool to watch like other people's take when they build a crew, and you've never really run into that crew before, right? Because that's your experience with that crew. And you know, we kind of ran into this in Guild Ball. We used to see this in Guild Ball all the time, where it's like, oh, okay, our local guy plays, you know, this way, and but then these other guys came to town, and you know, they run the same captain or the same team, but it did not. But they don't run it the same way, and you're kind of prepared for those guys, right? Because this is very true in Guild Ball, right? If there was a you know, Falconers player in Guild Ball that was a local guy, then it was Kevin, right? And you're like, oh crap, like Kevin is like one of the best Guild Ball players you'll ever meet in your life, right? And so so you're used to kind of playing up against a really high performance Falconers team, and then you see somebody else comes in, or you end up outside of your meta, we'll say, you end up at a different tournament or whatever, and somebody's running Falconers, and you're like, oh no, here we go again, and you realize they just don't have the same skill, or they don't approach it the same way that Kevin approached Falconers, and you're like, wow, this Falconers player isn't as good. They're not taking advantage of the same stuff that Kevin would have already been taking advantage of, that sort of thing. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Yeah, so yeah, his Lex crew was really cool, um, but he told me he was struggling to score against me because I wasn't reacting to his stuff, like, and I wasn't um, removing enough of his suspects and that sort of thing. But I was playing to my plan, right, which is, you know, keep the ritual going, and then and and play to the outside of the board. So if he's not placing suspects that threaten either of those scenarios, I don't care, right? So that's why he was off to a very slow start, although he was killing stuff immediately out of the gate. Um, it was still kind of tough for him long term to score. And so, you know, when that's your experience with your crew, that's when you go back, right? He played the pure deck, which is what I always say you should do when you're learning a crew. You start with the pure deck, and then um, figure out what you can score, what's easy to score, what is not easy to score, what are great resources, and just sort of start tailoring your deck from there. All right. So let's get this. I'm just going to get an armor wash on this bear. Right, and all I'm trying to do is I want to smooth out the kind of roughness I caused from some dry brushing in an earlier step. I also really want to just drive deep contrast in the rest of this. But yeah, that was cool. We were we we were almost gonna play Foe, but I didn't really have enough time. That's the problem with Malifaux, right? I wanted to try out Karis too, and he wanted to try out Cadmus, but we're like, dude, those games are so long. I don't think we have that kind of time. So we just went with Batman, right? It's like Batman and MCP. You could do that when you're low on time and always make sure that it's still gonna happen. This fur, that might be like not part of the back plate, but I don't know if that's correct or not. I mean, that's one of the issues with custom sculpts, right? Is you do not know what's actually supposed to be what. Sometimes you're trying to just navigate the detail on your own. Oh, that's quite nice. Yeah. See how that armor wash is actually helping define this model a lot better. And I still have to highlight all the cloth parts. I really don't want to attempt freehand on this banner. I don't think that's a good idea. All right, but what I should do is I want to give like a dark green. I'd like to give a dark green wash on the bear outfit. I also want to kind of mix up the basing a little bit too, so we'll get to that in a minute. Right, just a little depth on the green cloth parts. And then as I'm working on the basing, you'll see the different sculpts that are part of this set. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. And real quick, I should have like a dark blue color. All right. Not sure what the plan is for freehand on this thing. Well, let's shade it. All right. So let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, or threats. We do have a paint day coming up this Saturday at Comic Quest. So if you want to join me for a paint day, that would be super cool. There's like a special kit that we're painting, and I don't know what that kit is. It's a null. It's always a D&D mini. Okay, so we're gonna go a little Agros Dunes, right? Just to kind of add a little modeling to the texture base, and this will dry lighter. So if you're worried, like, oh man, you just turned that cool green base brown, don't worry, it will dry lighter. And if it doesn't, he's just dry brush a green over it. The point is, it just has to match. So here's some of the other minis that are part of this set. Here's a cool samurai mech with a full-on bamboo wall. I mean, I kind of love that. And I painted him as kind of like I was thinking of like the North Japanese, where it's like it gets really cold, so he's almost like an ice warrior. Then you got the opposite of that. You get this tiger samurai guy here with a Gatling gun. So if you think the body proportions are weird, right? This guy, he's not an actual samurai, as you can tell, he's a mech. Okay, so that's why his legs are so skinny and his arms are kind of like shaped that way. I don't really know how to describe this thing, but in and I hope Andrew doesn't get mad at me, but when I saw the sculpt for this, I was thinking C-3PO is throwing a tire at me, and I'm not sure, so I couldn't unsee that, and so that's why it got painted this way, but I maintain that it is still very deeply cool. But yeah, C-3PO is throwing stuff at me, and I don't, like, he's throwing a tire at me. How rude. There you go. All right. Ijuta! There we go. I mean, he's kind of cool. He's got like a Cyclops thing. But what he's throwing is like some sort of tech landmine or something. All right, so now, and then the last one, who is like it's like a plant Groot like thing, which is actually pretty cool. It's got these tendrils. I know the tendrils are supposed to be like green or brown, but I like them to have a little bit of like a vibrancy to them because they're mechs. They're not, right? If this was just crude plant thing, okay, sure, make it boring. But like I'd make sure their eyes are glowing, make sure that there's enough luminescence in these models so it looks like, they're mechs, that something is piloting them. And that's kind of what we want. So, yeah, this one is really neat. Of the sculpts, I think from a sculpting perspective, this is the best model. Maybe second is Tower. And then, the other set had the T-Rex with the missile launcher. That was pretty cool. and the original Fat Tower, which I really like. So there's cool. There's like this game has kind of cool sculpts in it, and I don't. The weird thing is like that could very well just be his back, and he's just got wires running down his back. But I don't know. It's kind of cool just to run it like that. And okay, let's get some tufts on these guys. Oh man, see, I could have done something really. I think that's such a cool. These are so cool tufts. It's like blue tufts, but I kind of painted the bases here with a little bit more like a sunnier grass in mind. I mean, I could use these too. This actually matches a little bit better. So I'll use the deader grass. All right, and I got big ones too. So all right. So we can start just gluing these down. Nope. Actually, let's do a smaller one right there. And I want to have a super tiny one right there. Right? I want one here. Actually, a little bigger. There we go. The bead of glue tells me, like, it's a mental marker for me of what size tuft I want to run. Alright, so you can see where I'm putting the really small ones. It's almost too small. Like that won't actually be able to hold anything. Okay, cool. Alright. So now we're going to start sticking little tufts on. Yeah, when I first started painting this, I wasn't that impressed, and as it started to kind of come together, then I was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty damn dope. That happens to me a lot with when I'm painting miniatures. Is I was like, oh, that's gonna be the worst. That's gonna be the most boring or the dumbest one to paint, and it's the coolest one to paint. There we go. A little grass there. That actually looks quite nice. Like that's supposed to be there. Let's keep going with these little guys. The only thing that upsets me about the Kroot thing is the fact that we have to use a 40K reference to describe it. It's like a Kroot. Damn it. Stupid 40K. Alright. So, there's that. And finally, Mr. Ichuta. Ichuta. Alright. So I was going to ask you, Jose, how's the magic hobby going for you? Are you diving deeper now into more magic? Oh, I forgot to do the big plants. let's do the big plants. Okay. And okay. And I mean, this may be another super short stream. Sorry. Yeah, this may be another super short stream. Things are looking pretty good. I'm just gonna move these along. I could prime Oraculo. That's probably something worth doing. Okay, well, let's get this all taken care of. You know, I knew the painting the bear would be fun, but honestly, I don't think it was any more fun than painting the Kroot. Kroot was like the surprise awesome one of this. Let's do Barricade. Barricade Man! Right? You can see, like, so there's some texture missing on the back there. And sometimes you just kind of create a little depth by painting in, right? Painting in stripes, painting in direction. Yep, looks way cooler with the little wall. Let's do tower. I think tower looks pretty cool. There we go. Okay. All right. And the samurai looking guy. There's two samurai looking guys. There's the shield wall guy, or bamboo wall guy, we'll call him. Wait, you don't like C-3PO throwing the spare tire at you? See, the tiger guy's kind of cool. My idea here was that, like, okay, the guy doing defense is like the cold north of Japan, right? Where he's got the bamboo wall, and he's more about that snow lifestyle, right? So he's kind of like a blue in his color, his coloration. Whereas this guy, you know, he's rocking a Gatling gun. So he's going to be Tiger. Tiger uppercut. He's a Tiger, the Tiger Samurai. With the crew. C-3PO is running with a taiko drum? Could be. I don't know why I couldn't, like, ever since I saw that model, the only thing I could see is C-3PO. It's a really interesting model. Alright. So those guys, I mean, they're basically done. We're just going to let them dry up, and then we'll seal them. And then, yeah, and then they're pretty much good to go. Where's the... So I'm going to close up my palette for now. Right, because here's the next challenge. Is Oráculo. Right, I didn't get her English card. I only got her Spanish card, so it's just Oráculo. And I've got some issues here with, right, she's supposed to have her hand on that monitor, and this keyboard is supposed to reach over and be there, but that's just not going to happen the way that the arms attach. And also, there's probably nothing harder to do in miniature painting than paint a miniature that's facing barriers. Kind of like that guy hiding behind the bamboo thing, but he is clearly head and shoulders above it. So I think what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to prime these separate, and I'm probably going to have to paint her separate from her computer stand. Oracle is such an important character in BMG. It's one of the things that I'm a little frustrated with in BMG is that list building inadvertently like points you to certain characters that are just great at filling spots or filling the right amount of points. The thing about Oracle that's so nice is that she really fits like the right amount of points in a lot of crews, right? Birds of Prey, Bat Family, Teen Titans, all do really well to have an Oracle running around in them. Hey, Club Avatar. Cam is... Yeah, the models are getting rubbery. But, you know, that's on the plus side. It's actually kind of good that they're rubbery, because imagine how brittle this would be. Just like, psh, and the whole thing would just smash apart into a million pieces. And that would be super sad times. Alright, so I know you guys didn't sign on to watch me prime Oráculo, but we're waiting for those other models to dry, and we're basically done with them, so we might as well prime an Oráculo. Oh, she has a... I didn't clip that thing off of her. 50 cost scheming, and I know, right? And hacking, and Intel support, right? It's like having a poor man's Riddler on your crew. But hey, poor man's Riddler is useful on a lot of crews. Okay, let's get some primer on these. And wouldn't you know it, with our latest KM order in, I can build out a full Teen Titans roster. I can build out a full Teen Titans roster. I can build out some Bat Family. I can build out some. I can even build out some Birds of Prey. I can't do all Birds of Prey because Frank the Plant is still impossible to get right now. Like, we gotta just watch the night model site like a hawk and see when Frank the Plant is back in. Because he's far more useful than Electrocutioner, right? Electrocutioner just gives you another guy on your list that. All right. Let's get some primer down on Oraculo. Everything showed up, sir. So I don't remember who ordered what. I've got it on a list somewhere. Nelson, I think you just got Poison Ivy. I think that's the only thing you got, right? I know lots of people ordered sets of objective cards. Including me. I got a second set of objective cards just because that's how useful it is to have objective cards. What's the matter, son? Okay, you can come in a minute, okay? But go finish over there. Daddy's got to finish this. All right, close the door. Close the door, Dare Bear. All right. Kite Man? Did you order a Kite Man? I better double check. I don't remember ordering a Kite Man. I'll check the order. I don't remember ever ordering a Kite Man. But I remember you were looking at them, so maybe hopefully I'm wrong. We'll go back and see what I got. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I can check my order here while this is drying, actually. Let me clear out this black primer. I know you have a set of cards for sure. I know I probably. Why don't I remember ordering a Kite Man? But let me double check. All right. Now let's just check for now. I'll grab the box out of the car once we're waiting on those things to dry. So let's see. Let me look at my orders. Why does it still say Enviado? It's because it just got here today, so they didn't update it yet. But let's see what's on that order. Okay. Jason Todd, Robot, Polka Dot Man, Catman, Bronze Tiger, The Court, Calvin Rose, Poison Ivy, Militia, Batgirl. I did not order a Kite Man. I did not order a Kite Man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Was I asked to order a Kite Man? I'm going to have to go back several hundred messages here. Because I posted the kind of breakdown of who got what on the chat here. Where did it go? Hold on. Actually, hold on a sec. I got yeah, I posted I actually have that spreadsheet, I believe, on my little Surface. All right, check my little Surface here. I just hope I didn't like overlook it. Yeah, I mean, well, obviously we have to wait for Frank the Plant to come in, and then we're gonna order like 2 or 3 of those, and then a Kite Man. I don't know who else I may want. I may want Signal Man. Okay, so let's go to Excel. Okay, yeah, it should be on here. BMG order. Here we go. Just taking a second here. Yeah, so yeah, it only it only has objective deck for you, and it only has Poison Ivy for Nelson. Yeah, Chris picked up his Catman and Bronze Tiger. I got Sean also ordered Objective Deck and Batgirl Rebirth, which I regretted because I actually stuck a Batgirl Rebirth on another person's order, on Jake's order, and his order is delayed. And I'm like, how did my order beat your order? I ordered like $300 more than you did, but my son's trying to tell me to be quiet. All right, well, let me go ahead and get the white on this. Ooh, that is not atomizing very well. It's okay. I might make the floor a little trippy on this one. Yeah, why not? I mean, since I have to paint it separate anyway. And I will not be free-handing the Batman t-shirt. There we go. Nice and bright. Here's up, Sean. Alright, so now we just seal this up. And Oraculo is ready for painting. I'm getting some. It clogged pretty quick. Yeah, that clogged pretty quick. But I got pretty much all of it in one shot, which is good. Okay. I'll just dump most of it out. Alright, and then let's go with, where's my water? Let's get a little bit of water. Sean, I owe you a subtotal, which I'll have here in a minute. Alright, so now all I gotta do, just hit her with a little bit of gloss. And she'll be ready to rock pretty soon. Alright. Cool. Alright. Alright. So we'll get to painting her in the next night or two, I imagine. And then I have a few Robins to paint for Teen Titan, right? I gotta paint Jason Todd, Robin, and I have to paint Damien. Alright, so anyways, that's Oraculo. And then, okay, let's start looking at these. And we're going to have to call it here because I got to because Darius won't go to bed. Alright, so here's the cool bear guy with axes. Right? He looks like, yeah, psychotic bear with axes. Yeah, yeah. And you got this. See, this guy is actually quite cool. He's got the cool. He's got a cool like samurai mask. I think this was supposed to be hair back here. It didn't print that well, but that's pretty cool. You got tower. Cool Gundam looking thing. All right. C3PO throwing a what did Jose call that? I don't remember. But he's throwing some sort of donut at you. And then we got this samurai guy. And then finally we got the Kroot plant guy. All right. So cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm going to put this little guy to sleep. So anyways, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.